The following segments are pre-recorded and sponsored by Longworth Productions.
An airport update on Triad Today. Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth and welcome to another edition of Triad Today, coming to you once again from the beautiful Senior Botanical Garden in Kernersville. We'll tell you more about the garden later on, and later on is when the roundtable shows up and we will get into all sorts of controversial topics, so stay tuned for that. Throughout the half hour, some great guests, important information coming your way, so stick around. Where we want to start, though, is with a good friend of the show, Dr. Ken Engel. He, of course, is president of Alamance Community College, and congratulations on your, I guess, first year officially on the job.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And they said it wouldn't last.
That's
right.
been a good year.
Yeah. Okay, now last year you and I talked about, when you were on the show, we talked about artificial intelligence. That's the thing now. Give us an update on that and why it's maybe a good career option for students.
That is a great topic that I enjoy talking about. You know, we always want to be on the cutting edge of technology and certainly programs where we see job demand growing. And what we see within artificial intelligence is that not only are there fields directly related to artificial intelligence, but there are a lot of fields in other sectors that need to utilize artificial intelligence. So we see it as a real opportunity to train the next generation of the workforce on the skills that are needed. That program is getting started as we speak and getting up and running. We actually are in the process of renovating the third floor of our Biotechnology Center of Excellence to include elements of artificial intelligence and data analytics. And as we head towards the fall, even though it's just the spring now, as we start thinking about the fall, we're really excited about the first cohort of students that will be stepping into that program.
Right. So what's sort of help me with the time frame of this, when you talk about getting up and running and the students coming in, how does that work? Absolutely.
So we actually have students now who are expressing interest in the program, and we're getting them set up with their pathway to start on that path. And the good thing is we've built it off of some of our existing technology programs, so they can go ahead and start some of the work that they're going to need to graduate with that degree as we get it up and going for the fall.
Let's give a quick mention to the job you do and such a good job your folks do with workforce development. What is it in general terms, so that we can let people know in on it, workforce development, and why is it so key to your mission?
Absolutely. So, you know, at the core of what we do every day is connecting our community to the workforce. And when we look at colleges, we think a lot about the student side of what we do, and really supporting our students, supporting our community to become students and get educational opportunity. It's just as important for us that we have partnerships on the other side of that equation, that we have really strong business partnerships, economic development partnerships, and transfer partnerships, so that when those students come and take one of our programs, they have somewhere to go work when they finish that program. So we work very, very hard to build strong business partnerships. We work very closely with our Chamber of Commerce, which is an incredible team of people as well.
And those businesses let you know, they'll say, you know, Dr. Engel, this is what we need at our business.
Absolutely.
And then I guess you tailor the course in a way?
Absolutely. We have a lot of ways that we can do that, but a big part of our job is listening to their needs, understanding not only where they are today, but where they're trying to grow to, and preparing the workforce for those opportunities.
You sent me an email the other day about something called Parent Promise. Parent Promise. What is that?
I'm so excited about this program. What we know is that parents will do anything to support their children. You know, I'm very fortunate. I have two wonderful children, and there is nothing I would not do to give them opportunity. But we know a lot of our community members have sacrificed their own opportunity so that their children can have opportunity. Well, the Parent Promise program says that any dual-enrolled high school student, their parent can come and take a class from us for free.
Wow.
So we're providing a scholarship for the class, and we're also providing a scholarship for the books and supplies they need to take the class.
How about that?
And some of our first takers of this opportunity are working adults who haven't been able to afford educational opportunity and are using this as a way to do that. We have another one whose child is getting ready to graduate out of one of our existing programs and is thinking about starting their own business, and so they're taking a business class to help their child start a business.
Isn't that something?
And it's really opening doors of opportunity that help engage what we call adult learners, people who are interested in upskilling within the workforce.
Can people like me in their 70s learn something?
Absolutely. Everyone can learn
You
something.
won't turn me away, will you?
Not a chance. We're happy to have you.
Up on screen, Alamance CC. is the website for more information. Please look at that. We can only cover so much in these segments with time limits and everything, but go to the website, read all about it. Dr. Ken Engel, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back after this.
You know, it's hard to believe the Safe Sober program has been going strong for over 30 years.
And over 600,000 students have made the pledge to stay safe and sober on prom night. You know, Griff, it's had a huge impact on our community.
Yeah, you're right, David. And now we're making sure the message continues year-round.
So everyone can join us in supporting our students.
Learn more and take the pledge at safesober.com, sponsored by Daggett Schuler.
Spartans are the teachers, artists, nurses, scientists, and leaders who build our communities.
Back now on Triad Today, and our special guest just flew in his private Learjet into the garden. The jet's just, you can see it right here. We ought to make a fake jet sometime. It's just Kevin Baker, Executive Director, Piedmont Triad International Airport. Good to see you, sir.
You too, Jim.
No, he drove in like everybody else. But we're going to talk about flying. And let's talk about winter travel around the airport. Give us some tips on what we need to know.
Yeah, well, obviously we're in the cold time of the year. I'm not exactly sure what day this will air, but today it's cold clearly out there.
Right.
Around this time, obviously, you want to give yourself a little bit more time. You know, what I always tell people is the airport's going to be open. Our guys take an awful lot of pride in making sure that they're constantly on top of it, so you never get any kind of accumulation. They're constantly taking it off as it's accumulating. It's not like you wait until it's 5 inches deep and then go move it, Very often I would say that the airport property is probably the clearest in terms of roads and parking lots and all that kind of sidewalks, et cetera, in the whole area. So, if you can get to the airport safely, we're going to be open. There's no question about it. But I would tell everybody to make sure that you call your airline, because a lot of times we'll be open and operating, but the airlines will choose either because of what they've got going here or maybe because of a connection in another area where there might be weather. They're not operating.
Which you have, you run the airport, but you have no control over what the airport. Oh, which brings me to this. Now, I want to sort of change gears for a second. I've been having great experiences with PTI for many, many years. But I assume you have complaints sometimes. The question, though, is, are those complaints relevant to you and the airport?
Yeah, well, we own them all just because we want everybody to have the best experience that they possibly can. And certainly, I think that most of our traveling public, especially those who use us all the time, would say that they love flying through the airport and have very little problems. But from time to time, there are issues. And some of the more frustrating things are those that are really out of our control. And in many ways, you have to look at the airport authority as sort of the manager of a mall or a commercial property manager.
So like in a mall, if the shoe store decides not to open, you can't get mad at the mall manager because the shoe store manager is
Exactly. What is in our sphere of responsibility of making sure the roads, the parking lots, the lighting, the buildings comfortable, all of those kinds of things. But the airlines sub out services, they call them under wing subs to companies that will be the folks who bring the airplane in, that unload the bags, that put the wheel chocks up. I can't tell you how many times that I've heard from people about, with complaints about things like that, such as somebody sitting on an airplane saying, Kevin, they call me from the airplane seat saying, I've been sitting here for 30 minutes, I can see my gate, it's open, but there's not anybody there to bring us in. And they think that's us. And very often, very frustrating, we've had crew members on that airplane, pilots, other crew members, tell the folks on that airplane that this is because the airport's a small airport and they don't have the staff. And there's nothing more frustrating than that. But just know, I would tell all of your audience to know that our job is to manage that facility, and we don't touch an airplane, we don't touch a passenger for the most part.
Right. Oh man, I tell you. So you get thrown under the bus for everything, even though it's not your fault. But no, I always have good experiences at PTI too. Hey, look, let me shift gears before we run out of time. Since you're here at the first of the year, look back on 2024, look ahead to 2025. How do the airport do last year? What's coming up this year?
Yeah, I think last year was sort of the last year in the rebuild after COVID. We got back to basically normal 2019 normal by the end of last year, and that's a good thing. And the numbers are continuing to grow in terms of passengers. And the more passengers we have, the more flight opportunities we'll have, et cetera. And then, sort of on that economic development side, the big projects like Boom and Marshall and Honda and HAECO and Textron that we've had over the years, I think that there are big things. We're looking forward to some big things this year.
You're really helping in your position, not to brag on you too much here. I don't want it to go to your head, but I mean, seriously, you're really at the heart of a lot of these economic development projects, because a lot of it depends on transportation and space and availability. People that might want to operate out of the airport campus, as we talk about it, with HAECO and FedEx and some other people like that, which we'll see some of those people on the show, I think, during the rest of this year, sort of meet some of the folks that make up the airport campus. But I thank you for all you're doing there. And up on screen, you can go to flyfrompti.com for more information, flyfrompti.com. And remember what Kevin was saying about winter travel. Call the airline, make sure that your flight is on time and all that. Don't call Kevin at home. Although I guess I could give him your home phone. No, I won't do that. Kevin Baker, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jim.
We'll be right back after this. Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you that Triad Today also airs on GTN Spectrum Channel 13 and streams on WFMY Plus, free on Roku and Amazon Fire. Back now on Triad Today. So glad that we can get this guest with us. She's been with us before, a delightful lady who does so much good work throughout the community. Danielle Harrison is Executive Director of Guilford Works. Good to see you again.
Great to see you.
For folks that may not know, maybe they missed an episode or something that we did, let's remind people, what is the mission of Guilford Works? What are you all about?
So Guilford Works is a mission to creating equitable opportunities for our job seekers and employers in Guilford County.
Right. And certainly that's a very important task. And within that task, you have a number of programs and initiatives that I want to ask you about. You emailed me some things about it. One is something called Dual Generation Program, the Dual Generation Program. What is that, and how does that tie into Guilford County Schools, for example?
Sure. So the Dual Generation Workforce Initiative is a collaboration between Guilford Works, Guilford County Schools, as well as Guilford Technical Community College. And so in that initiative, we create opportunities for Guilford County School parents to gain a credential in advanced manufacturing.
Wow. Okay. So they're learning along with the kids too. So lifelong learners that you're helping with that too.
Absolutely.
How's that program been going? Pretty good.
It's been going pretty great, and actually, because this is our second phase of the program.
Right.
Yeah.
You also emailed me about something called Connect Ed.
Yes.
Now, what is that, and how do residents benefit from Connect Ed?
So Connect Ed is another opportunity for individuals to gain credentials in high demand career sectors. And so that could be advanced manufacturing, healthcare, aviation, transportation, logistics, information technology, et cetera.
Right. And of course that ties in a lot, not just indirectly, but directly with one of our guests from today, Dr. Ken Engel with the Alamance Community College. Yes. So it's almost a theme show here, transportation and training and jobs and everything. Hey, you also said something to me earlier about something called the Mobile Career Center. The Mobile Career Center. What's that? And are there plans to expand it? Tell me about it.
So our Mobile Career Center is stationed throughout Guilford County, as well as regional events and activities. We've had our current one for a couple of years, and so we have had many impacts. For example, we serve roughly 1,000 individuals on an annual basis on our Mobile Career Center, as well as partnering with organizations and hosting roughly 100 events a year. And
wow.
So we're planning on expanding it and having our second Mobile Career Center sometime this year.
That's fantastic. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you tell me one time about a truck driver program that you do? Because that career seems to still be in such demand year after year after year. How do people go through that and maybe get some training before they get on the road?
Sure. And so, yes, CDL programs are very in demand as well as employment opportunities. And so we've partnered again with Guilford Technical Community College, and we gained the concept of adding a CDL simulation device into our virtual reality lab.
Wow.
And so, yes, individuals who have wanting to, gain a job in CDL, or they just want to explore opportunities, it'll allow them to enter our lab and utilize the simulation, as well as utilize our virtual reality software and explore other opportunities
You
as
were
well.
talking way above my head, I tell you that, with that technology and everything, but it's got to be good because, look, it's a positive thing, it's a win-win because it'll help them go into that career, but maybe they go through the simulation and say, I'm not sure this is for me, so that helps them know right away, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
That's just amazing. Up on screen, I want to put some information up on here. You can visit guilfordworks.org for more information about all the things that Danielle and her team are doing, the programs we mentioned. You can read about them in more detail. That's guilfordworks.org. Danielle Harrison, thanks for all you do to help so many people. I appreciate it.
Thank you as well, Jim.
And don't wait a year or so to come back.
I'll try not to.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
North Carolina's economy is growing, bringing new businesses and opportunities. The need for electricity is growing too. At Duke Energy, we're meeting the challenge, providing even more electricity that's cleaner, reliable, and that stays affordable. We're getting out of coal and reinvesting in our communities with a diverse, balanced mix of energy sources and making targeted upgrades to the grid so that North Carolina can thrive in a smarter energy future.
Back on Triad Today, I'm so glad to have these two ladies with us. One that I've met just recently, and she's been on the show several times, and you've seen her on her commercials, and the other, who's a friend of Triad Today, has been here forever. And of course, I'm talking about Ashton Fowler, the marketing manager for Modern Automotive Network, and my good buddy Mona Lovett, who is president and CEO of Crosby Scholars. Welcome, ladies. Good to see you.
Glad to be here.
Very happy to be here.
Ashton, let me start with you. How has, since obviously we're going to be talking about Crosby Scholars, how has Modern Automotive and your family supported Crosby Scholars over the years, and why?
Yeah, so we're super passionate about the children in our community, but it started out in 1986, actually, when Crosby Scholars came to North Carolina. We were first involved in the golf tournament, and then over the years we've continued to support, so it's really cool to see how long we've partnered together and what the organization has turned into now.
Right. And, the sponsorships are so important, aren't they, to have folks like Modern involved?
Absolutely. We could not serve the students the way we do without the support of our community.
Well, let's talk about those students and what you're doing. Just for folks that maybe don't know, and maybe they just moved into the area, what's the mission of Crosby Scholars?
Our primary focus is to help students prepare for post-secondary educational opportunities. So that's 4-year college, 2-year programs, 1-year programs, help them to think about and plan for their future, making sure that all of our high school graduates have a pathway upon high school graduation, but starting to expose them as early as 6th grade to career exploration opportunities, community service, to academic opportunities, really just complete exposure to all the possibilities that are out there for them.
Right. Now, since we mentioned that, and there's probably not an exact number in your head, I'll put you on the spot, about how many students have you served or do you typically serve, and what kind of specific programs and things do you use to help them?
Yeah, so over our history of the program, we've served over 34,000 students.
Wow.
And helped them to graduate. We serve about 10,000 students annually in grades 6 through 10. They can start with us as early as 6th grade. They must join by 10th grade and to graduate as Crosby Scholars. And we're actually recruiting students right now, which is really exciting. We have a lot of services. We have outreach programs for African American males, Hispanic males. We have a signature advising program that starts in the junior year where every junior gets a one-on-one advisor to help them plan for college, career, financial aid, scholarships, and those kinds of things.
And scholarships are a big part of it.
Oh, scholarships are a part of it. We have scholarships that are that donors give to, and then we have what we call last dollar grants, and those are based on financial need, and students need help with completing the FAFSA, which was in the news a lot last year. Right. So we provide all of that support to students and parents.
You've had a lot of first-generation students go to college because of you, so pat on the back for that.
Yes.
But they also do community service and stuff. How do you measure the success of all this?
Well, we actually talk to our students and parents, and we get feedback from them. And we have so many that tell us, I don't know that we would have been able to do this without the support of Crosby Scholars. We didn't know where to start, especially with a lot of our first generation college students. The parents will say, I want to help you. I'm going to do everything to support you, but I don't exactly know the steps. And that's where Crosby steps.
I want to put up a little some stuff on screen here because as we have a little bit of time remaining, I want to plug the golf tournament, even though it's in May. It's Crosby Scholars Invitational. The dinner is on May the 5th at Old Town Country Club. The golf event itself is on May the 6th at Bermuda Run Country Club. For more information, you can visit crosbyscholars.org. I mentioned that sort of out of order in our conversation because we were talking about scholarships, and that helps pay for scholarships, right or wrong?
It helps pay for, yes, absolutely. The majority of those funds go directly to financial aid and last dollar grants and scholarships to help our families.
And I want to put up on screen also modernauto.com. We mentioned the crosbyscholars.org website, but modernauto.com, I hope you will visit. And you have people who will pay to, play in a foursome in that, and that's one way of raising the money. And then there's sponsorships. I think, Ashton, didn't your family do sponsor a hole or something?
Yeah, we are supporting the hole-in-one competition this year.
Wow. And what happens if somebody wins the hole-in-one? What do they get, a car?
Well, it depends on where it is, but yeah, an awesome prize is what they get.
An awesome prize.
Absolutely awesome.
Wow, okay. Well, it's going to be something.
Yeah, something big. Airline tickets, all sorts of things are available.
It could be dinner at Ashton's house.
Oh, well.
Maybe.
Yeah, all right. Anyway, all right. Thanks, girls. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, of course.
Happy to be here.
We'll be right back after this. Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you to catch my column Longworth at Large and Yes Weekly every week. It's available throughout the Triad, or you can go online, yesweekly.com. Back now on Triad Today, just about time for the roundtable, but a quick shout out to our good folks here at Senior Botanical Garden in Kernersville. Check out the garden, check out the website. You can hold your events here. You can even have your roundtable here. And that's why we're here on the roundtable. On my right, but always political left, Ogie Overman is here with us. Dr. Bob Shackelford, former president of Randolph Community College, and now he has his own business, a leadership consulting business, is with us. Bob Shackelford and Keith Cranberry, founder of Helping Hands Consultants. Guys, on January 30th, the North Carolina legislature will finally vote on whether to allow high school athletes to earn money from their name, image, and likeness. Now, we've talked about this before, but now it's coming down to the wire. January 30th. Will it pass, and do you want it to pass, Ogie?
I hate it, Jim. I absolutely hate it. That's the worst idea ever, almost. They've ruined college athletics already. Everybody there is poaching other schools, going through the portal. Colorado had 30 people that came through the portal.
Right.
It's horrible. And some of them, Duke's paying $8 million to get a quarterback from Tulane next. $8 million.
It's sad. Now it's on the high school. So will the high school thing pass, do you think, Bob?
I hope not. I agree with Ogie. It has ruined college sports. Some of the best coaches ever have left the sport because of it. And now they want to turn the high school athletics into the NBA.
Keith, will it pass, and would you like it to pass?
I don't think it's going to pass, but I disagree with both of them in terms of college. The universities have been making billions of dollars off these athletes, billions. And they should be able to get a part of that because many of them, after they get out of college, the professional life is short. They need to make income too.
But what's your view on high school, though?
I think high school students should wait. Yeah, they should wait.
All right, we talked about this before the holidays, but since then, Governor Cooper has commuted another 15 death sentences. So anyway, I'm not going to comment any further than that, except to ask you guys, do you think we should enforce the death penalty if we have it, or just get rid of it? Ogie.
That's a toughie, Jim. Generally, I'm against the death penalty.
Right.
Unless it's a really heinous crime.
Right.
Just very few cases.
You would like to get rid of it altogether?
I accept it, not altogether, but close.
What do you do, Bob, though?
Well, I'm pretty much like Ogie. I'm torn on that. I know there are inequities with the death penalty, and I think those need to be addressed. But there are such crimes, murdering children, killing police officers, torturing people, that the families of the victims should not have to pay taxes to keep up those people for a lifetime.
Keith, these commuted death sentences, you okay with them?
Yes, I think it's worse when a person is in a single cell for the rest of their life to think about and not be able to see anybody in society again. I think that is a death sentence itself.
Good point, Keith. A Swiss court just ruled in favor of a company that makes its employees clock out for bathroom breaks. Now, this is not a joke. This is a real story. The company believes it should not have to pay someone for the time they spend in the bathroom, and it cuts down on people lollygagging around the bathroom. Now, does the company have a point or not? Ogie.
I thought the Swiss were kind of liberal, live and let live people. That's a ridiculous idea, Jim. What if you got prostate problems and you go 5 or 6 times a day? You got to punch the clock every time?
Well, I couldn't move to Switzerland. Bob, what do you think?
If you have to resort to that level of micromanagement, you're not a good leader and you have the wrong team.
Keith, clock out to go to the bathroom?
I think they're going to lose a lot of employees. I mean, you got to allow your employees to do something as simple as going to the bathroom. That's ridiculous.
All right. Meanwhile, Texas Senator Ted Cruz has just introduced a bill to require term limits for Congress. We've talked about this a lot too, but now here's a senator who looks like he's serious about this. He proposes a maximum of 3 terms for representatives, 2 terms for senators. Guys, do you support this bill? Ogie.
He's got to have an ulterior motive. That's actually a good idea. I've never agreed with the Cruz on anything, but that's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, what do you
Maybe
think?
the numbers are not quite there.
Right. Bob, what do you think?
I totally agree. You finally dug deep enough to find something that Cruz and I agree on.
So do you agree with the terms he's talking about? With
in that ballpark.
6 years for congressman? And
Yeah,
12?
I do. I think they turn in their career, they spend their whole career running for re-election.
Keith?
I don't agree with either of them. And this is crazy because Cruz is on his 3rd term. I don't agree with it. I think that the people get to vote for who they want to vote for. That's why it's a democracy. Allow the people to vote. But we need to get people out to vote. That's why education of voters are so important.
Right. And it's sort of hypocritical. Some of these guys have been in there forever wanting term limits now.
Exactly.
Anyway, I don't know. Okay. Finally, a new study shows that 20% of men ages 25 to 34 still live at home with their parents, while only 12% of women still live at home with mom and dad. Guys, at what age did you leave home, and do you think women are attracted to grown men who live with their parents? Ogie.
I think I had girlfriends when I came after college. You kind of getting your feet, you figuring out what you're going to do in life.
You left home after college?
Moved back home for a while.
For a while.
I had girlfriends then. They didn't seem to mind.
They didn't care if you were living with mom and dad. Bob, when did you move out, and are women attracted to men who live at home?
Well, I moved out. I went off to college when I was 17, never went back home. And I think a woman is more impressed the way a man treats his mother rather than living with his mother.
Interesting. Bob is very philosophical.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Keith, what do you think?
Bob, that was pretty good. That was a good answer.
You agree with something I said
I agree with something you said today.
Go ahead. What do you think, Keith? When did you move out?
I left at 18, and there are women that are attracted to men who live at home with their mother, but you don't want to date those women. You just don't want to date them. You do not want to date somebody who's living home with their mother. It's just not a pretty picture.
Tune in next week for Keith and the sexist theories. All right, well, that's all the time we have. Oh, except for this. Congratulations and happy birthday to Kate Shore of Boonville. She just turned 104 years old. Kate, if you're watching, please don't feel embarrassed about having dated Ogie in high school. For all of us here on Triad Today, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next week.